Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Talk, episode number 56. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is my review of Netflix's Q-Force. That's right, I watched the whole entire series, episodes 1 through 10, and I do have some things I want to talk about. But first, we're going to go to the wonderful mainstream voices and see what they thought, because they always have awesome takes. From The Guardian, for 200 years. Q-Force review, Netflix's gay spy caper is disastrously dated. A glut of queer culture cliches, outdated references to Ally McBeal and Brokeback Mountain, and crucially, an absence of laughs make for a stereotypical stinker of an animation. Who is this person? Like, who is she? I mean, like, seriously. Oh, sorry. I can't. My bad. I'm not going to give those clowns money. Rebecca Nicholson is who this is. I don't know who she is, but obviously she doesn't understand satire, and she doesn't understand that the show pokes fun at everybody. And that's what true equality is when everybody's able to laugh at themselves and with each other, with each other. Like, they literally make fun of, like Google being evil, and the fact that these garbage companies pander during Pride Month. Yeah, we all notice, and so does the gay community. You think because some weirdos on Twitter give you a lot of love for it? Sorry. You're just trying to sell crap. You're full of crap. And of course, somebody like this is going to be on the other side of it, because she's part of the mainstream problem, which is the media. When a trailer for Q-Force Netflix was released in June, it caused a kerfuffle on social media. This animated series about a queer group of spies operating in an offshoot squad, the fictional American intelligence agency, sorry, I'm going to adjust that, failed to put its best foot forward with its teaser, which was a ragingly unfunny series of LGBTQ plus cliches and bad jokes. They make fun of the straight guy. They make fun of everybody in this. Like, obviously, her laugh, she didn't know how to laugh. Her life is devoid of laughter. Online commentators were unimpressed by its rainbow flag waving, yes, queen posturing, and a word. See, literally, that's like a cliche right there. They don't all walk around going, yes, queen. Posturing. You're the one posturing. You're the fake. You. In a world of clever adult animated comedy, from Big Mouth to BoJack Horseman, that first glimpse set this up to be a throwback dud. Q-Force is not nearly as bad as that clip suggested, but in order to get beyond the sashay away sloganeering and gags about how heterosexual men love smelling their own farts, you have to sit through 2 episodes that suggest it may be that bad after all. More than any other genre, comedy can take a few episodes to find its tone and rhythm. I don't think you know anything about comedy, by the way. Even the show that has settled into greatness, from Schitt's Creek to Parks and Recreation. Schitt's Creek is great. Parks and Recreation really took a nosedive towards the end, so had a slow ascent. Q-Force is not going to be one of those, and I do wonder how many viewers will have the patience to wait for it to get better. Well, I mean, if everyone's as sensitive as you're being. Steve Merriweather, Will and Grace's Sean Hayes. Yes, he was one of the producers on the show, by the way. He's a gay man. He was a producer on the show, so do you have a problem with gay people? I mean, because that's what the mainstream media thinks. Well, if you don't like the show, you have a problem with gay people. I don't make the rules. I just see the nonsense on Twitter and what the mainstream media, Miss Rachel Nicholson, is a part of the, they say to people like me on the internet who, if I don't like a certain thing, they say it's because I'm racist and, homophobic, known to his friends as, we'll kind of move forward here. What a confusing, basically he comes out as gay. He's like a top spy, stuff like that. He gets kind of shunned by the agency. It's kind of taking, I guess it's taking like a weird, I would say like maybe 1980s approach to being gay. In a sense. If I had to gauge that, what a confusing series. The Good Places. Michael Schur created it along with Hayes. Yeah. The showrunner, Gabe Liebman, worked on Pen 15, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Broad City. The cast includes Wanda Sykes, Laurie Metcalf, Gary Cole, David Harbour, all doing their best with what they have, but limited by oddly old-fashioned jokes. Because the old-fashioned jokes are the point. Because it's the old-fashioned stereotypes about everybody that they're poking fun at. About the gay community, about trans people, about straight people. The only ones who seem to suffer modern day jokes are the idiots like the mainstream media and like Google and these companies who they try to make dollars off of a community because they're like, oh yes, it's Pride Month, like we support you, and it's like no, you, it's like Memorial Day sales weekend. Memorial Day weekend is about remembering fallen soldiers who gave their lives to this country, but corporations have hijacked it to try to sell you mattresses and crap. Yeah, it's not what it's about. The cultural references are so dated, I started to wonder if it was deliberate, a retro choice like mid-century modern sideboards or mustaches. It was deliberate. I can see that, things don't get past you. It references Ally McBeal, The Princess Diaries, Sleepless in Seattle, and Brokeback Mountain. All series that were hailed as awesome in their heydays, so I'm not sure where you're going with that, but okay. As well as the obligatory Sex and the City DVD box set gag. Sex and the City's huge. I don't know what gag. It's as if it's someone pressed pause on queer culture in 2005. Well, Ally McBeal came out in the 90s. Will and Grace was a huge show. What are you talking about? Is everybody confused by this? As I am? I guess me? I don't know. There are nods to a world in which grandparents love RuPaul's Drag Race. People watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and every Netflix show has at least one bi-curious character, but overall there is a sense that that was made for a certain generation for whom visibility was hard-won and rare. Oh, so what you're saying is that they should have been more sensitive to the people who have no backbone. You think you think gay people who are in their 40s and 50s they have thin skin? Are you high? That's back when there was real problems. You know how I know is because I have a coworker who literally he we've had discussions about this. He learned how to fight because he was gay. I wouldn't mess with him. I'm a big dude. It's you overly sensitive, punks who just want to, you don't like Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones or Bill Burr's Paper Tiger. I mean, literally, equality is everybody being poked fun at and everybody laughing together. Not at, but together. That's what this show does. I like it. I saw a lot more animated penises than I thought I would, but they also had some bobs in there too. But I've never seen that much animated nudity, but hey, why not? But it is not particularly funny, and that is more of a problem. It's in its opening episodes, you can see the jokes coming a mile away, and it left me thinking that animation and comedy are all much more sophisticated now. No, they're not. No, they're not. What you're talking about is not funny. Woke jokes aren't funny. You look at these comedians who do like modern day jokes. They're not funny. They're not funny. They get applause. They don't get laughs. They get applause. I'm not going to go to see a comedian so I can applaud him. I'm going to go see a comedian so my gut hurts so much from laughing that I'm like practically crying. That's why I go to see. But you don't, because you don't have a sense of humor. Um, Trading in stereotypes is a tried and tested comedic technique, but to work well, there have to be more layers. No, there don't. No, there doesn't. Farts are funny. Sorry, girls fart and they laugh. I know. I've had numerous girlfriends that have thought it was funny when they farted on me, and I'm just like, oh, and they die laughing. Nobody is people are sophisticated in no way, but you know what? It's toilet humor is funny. Stereotypical jokes are funny. This rarely goes beyond initial observations. Europeans love nudity. They do love nudity. I've lived in Europe. they love nudity. They have no issue in the summertime getting naked and sunbathing. Not all of them, but the stereotype is true. I'm sorry. It's kind of like all guys that go to the gym 6 days a week must be gay. It's not true. But like the stereotype is there, and we laugh at it. We make fun of it. Isn't it hilarious when fat people are naked? Okay. I'm not sure where you're going with that one. Aren't straight men gross? Yeah, they make fun of straight men. Guess what? The straight guy in the series, he actually has a progression arc. And aren't lesbians good at DIY? I don't know what that means. DIY. Color me, unknowing. Although to be fair, that one has solid roots. Okay. It isn't until Q-Force visits the very familiar looking song contest, Eurovision, which was awesome, by the way. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a crossover of Netflix's, Eurovision movie. Maybe they had a character look like Sigrid in her, Husavik dress or something, or maybe Will Ferrell and Sigrid when they're dressing and their goofy dresses for gosh darn it, Double Trouble. They didn't do that, but yeah, they went to Eurovision, and I loved it. I was so for it. Obviously, my other channel is Legion Games 2076. I do Eurovision reactions like all the time. Called Europe Vision. That it dares to leave the fluff behind and dip into more exploratory waters. When it finally takes the feather boa and goes rogue, it starts to settle to something worth watching. The series' proper story arc is kind of about their zaniness that might have made it more appealing from the start, and involves AI, a secret black market auction, a potentially evil natural cosmetics company, and callous billionaires. It is all much more 2021, though it may come a little too late. See, 2121 is not funny. Modern day stuff isn't funny. It's old school comedians that get laughs. See, what's Miss Rebecca Nicholson is the problem, because she's not funny, and she probably got picked on for who she was as a kid, and a lot of us do. And it's not your invitation to ruin other people's happiness. Eventually you have to grow up and realize that, you can't let things hold you back, and you have to live your life and move forward. And you got to learn to laugh at yourself. You know why? Because you're going to fall down, you're going to look stupid, and you can't run from it. You got to embrace it. Polygon. Yeah, because, we need gaming websites to tell us how to feel about this. When the initial teaser for when the initial teaser in an era of divisive outrage. Wow. Boy, Kyle Wilson's going right in for it, huh? Okay, Kyle. This teaser somehow became the great equalizer, with another YouTube commenter marveling, wow, Netflix did it. They managed to unite homosexuals and homophobes. Yeah, I saw that one. They're wrong, though, because they're sensitive, too. And you know what? They're probably under the age of 30. That's an extreme summary, perhaps, but it's also understandable. Somehow, I have a hard time seeing the latter camp glooming onto a cartoon featuring man saying, I made my little butthole go beep. I mean, Twink said it. I mean, you call featuring a man, you don't know the character's name. I watched the series from start to finish. I know that the character's name is Twink. and he's a drag queen, and he's probably some of the best entertainment in the show, to be honest. And it's funny. Lighten up, dude. But also don't necessarily see any queer majority, myself included. Okay, Kyle. Okay. Mounting a defense of this show. That's because you have hurt feelings. That's because you have no spine. Grow skin. Don't let people hold you back. Laugh about things. Whose teaser feels like a rotted olive branch from that guy who called me the F word. That is not a nice word, by the way. I don't like that word. That's like saying the N word, in my opinion. And quite frankly, the guy, whoever the person was probably lashing out because there might be a chance that they turned out to be gay too, and they were mad that you were maybe so open about who you were. You ever think about that? Yeah, the words hurt and it sucks, but maybe they're jealous of who you were. I'm not saying what they did was right, but you know what? It may not necessarily, most of the time when somebody attacks you, it's not about you. It's about them. It's about they're ashamed of who they are, not ashamed of who you are. I've lived long enough to know that now. That's stuff you used to learn through family and friends and even school. That it wasn't about you. A lot of time it's about them because their life was horrible and they were lashing out. In truth, the actual show itself is nothing to get too keyed up about. It's true that it's a one joke premise. What if spies were gay? It's also true that the characters are a little more than walking stereotypes. That's the point. Because literally every character is a walking stereotype in the beginning because they slowly progress. It's called a story arc. It's what they used to do in television shows and movies instead of just going, oh, we made Captain America a black guy now. Stunning and brave. The character is called Sam Wilson, and I think he might have been the first mainstream black superhero as Falcon. But he wasn't good enough as Falcon. Apparently, he had to take up the mantle after a white person. Yes, it was in the comics, but they were failed comics. Nobody liked them. Nobody wanted them. They had to bring Steve Rogers back to and put Sam Wilson back as Falcon because that's who he should have stayed. That's who he is. It's true that the character addressed as Twink. Well, that's the character's name. I don't know what else to tell you. Is just full Twink, and that stereo, and that everyone calls Sean Hayes' character Agent Mary. There are predictable references to Liza Minnelli, Ariana Grande, and to lesbian characters merging their bank accounts after their first date. But at the end of the day, Q-Force is little more than inoffensive mediocrity in the the latest in the growing trend of marvelification of queer culture. Well, okay, okay, I'll give you that because the show did make fun of the fact that okay. It's been happening for a while, but just as in the '90s Batman films and the occasional X-Men Spider-Man entry eventually gave way to Marvel's total domination of the cinematic landscape, queerness is becoming more and more mainstream. And just as Marvel has polished the superhero story down to the predictable formula, shows like Q-Force are turning the distinctiveness of queer culture into a series of palatable public memes. Of course, I can't begin to speak for everyone in the LGBTQIA plus individual, but for me, this has been its own kind of struggle. I don't know why, but okay. While surely queer acceptance is the goal we've all been striving for, seeing a media marketplace that wanted nothing to do with us 15 years ago, I think Will and Grace would really kind of disagree with you, but okay. I could probably give you, 15 years ago? 2000, really? Maybe we could talk about 30 years ago. Suddenly start fire hosing queer stereotypes onto the screen in the hopes that it will both appeal to straight gay audiences and feel like cultural whiplash. So I do see his point because the show does address the fact that they like to woke culture likes to shoehorn everything in. You know, so it's definitely true. But you know, yeah. He covers it right here. Been aware of media hand waving away our presence the whole time. And it's no wonder we quite literally can smell it when the pandering begins. I gotta give him credit. He's calling it out. That's what the show does, though. That's why I like it. It calls that nonsense out. That's why there's always a certain icky feeling during Pride Month when businesses temporarily rainbow wash their marketing, or why there's outrage every time Disney announces that its latest film will feature the studio's first openly gay character. Yeah, because it's bullcrap. It's progress, but it also sucks. It's not progress; it just sucks. They're taking advantage of a community. It's horse crap. Also, I don't need Josh Gad to tell me that LeFou is gay. I don't know who that is. Played him twice in a community theater. I can assure you his primary motivation was thirsting after Gaston. Oh, okay. Uh, the long and the short of it is that I liked it. I'm not gonna badger on too much more about this, but I like the show because equality is ultimately what everybody's looking for. That's true acceptance, and true acceptance is when everybody is able to be poked fun at, and for all of us to laugh with each other together. That's true equality. If you shoehorn a certain demographic of people and say they're off limits, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not equality. That's special treatment. There's a difference. If you were to say, well, what it's like when they used to say that there was a water fountain for black people and there's a water fountain for white people only, and the one for white people is probably, I don't know, better taken care of. That's special treatment. That's not equality. That's special treatment. And now the pendulum is swinging the other way, um, treating LGBTQ people and black people and people of color, with kid gloves and special treatment is not equality. It's reverse racism, and it's not good. And Terry Crews, actor, comedian, hilarious. Big old Terry Crews called it out, and he got blasted. He got called all sorts of ugly names by people, and mostly on the left side. I'm not saying liberals or anything like that, or I'm not to make it about politics, but there's a demographic of people on Twitter who think that if you say anything negative about a certain group of people, that you're the worst things in the world, and they've lost their meaning. It's about equality. Watch the show, lighten up a little bit, laugh at all the stereotypical and things they make fun of on across the whole entire board. I think it was a great show. I saw a lot more cartoon penises than I thought I would, but I sat through all 10 episodes, and if they make a season 2, I'll watch it and review it. I enjoyed it enough to do so. I was not bored. It's 10 times better than Amazon's Cinderella movie, because that was just a hot mess of leftist weirdo garbage. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.